of these, and once again, want to restore life to them and support this economically challenged and less privileged people around us. We all feel the effect of the hardship experienced by many in our country today. So this year, more than ever before, there's a greater need to provide medical care for the growing number of underserved people in our communities. Last year, over 2,500 beneficiaries were impacted. This year, we want to meet the needs of double that number, and we cannot do it alone. Each general surgery costs hundreds of thousands of naira. This year, we plan to do 120 surgeries. Medications are one of the highest costs we spend within our budget every year. Millions of naira, which translate into hundreds of thousands of dollars, spent every year over the thousands of patients that will go into surgery and will have to go into post-operative care and will need drugs to recuperate very fast. We're grateful for the impact we've made in our communities over the years, none of which will be possible without the support of you, our donors and partners. We invite you to join us again this year in serving our community. Your donation can provide blood pressure medication for a man who has not been able to afford his drugs, and also provide surgery opportunity for a woman who has been suffering from fibroids. This is why you should scan the barcode on the screen or visit ubomi.peacesfoundation.org/donate. Thank you and God bless you. In 2019, over 3,000 underserved persons received free health care at the first ever annual UBOMI Medical and Surgical Outreach, organized by the Pieces Foundation. Since then, over 13,000 medical interventions have taken place at no cost at all to the beneficiaries, including, the 500 eye, dental, and general surgeries. It's always a delight to see people go through surgery, recuperate easily, and move on with their lives. And I'm excited to announce that the 4th edition of UBOMI, our annual medical and surgical outreach, is here again. This year, we plan to attend to 5,000 people. 5,000, and I mean it well, moving towards the actualization of these, and once again, want to restore life to them and, support this economically challenged and less privileged people around us. We all feel the effect of the hardship experienced by many in our country today. So this year, more than ever before, there's a greater need to provide medical care for the growing number of underserved people in our communities. Last year, over 2,500 beneficiaries were impacted. This year, we want to meet the needs of double that number, and we cannot do it alone. Each general surgery costs hundreds of thousands of naira. This year, we plan to do 120 surgeries. Medications are one of the highest costs we spend within our budget every year. Millions of naira, which translate into hundreds of thousands of dollars, spent every year over the thousands of patients that will go into surgery and will have to go into post-operative care and will need drugs to recuperate very fast. We're grateful for the impact we've made in our communities over the years, none of which will be possible without the support of you, our donors and partners. We invite you to join us again this year in serving our community. Your donation can provide blood pressure medication for a man who has not been able to afford his drugs, and also provide surgery opportunity for a woman who has been suffering from fibroids. This is why you should scan the barcode on the screen or visit ubomi.peacesfoundation.org/donate. Thank you and God bless you. In 2019, over 3,000 underserved persons received free health care at the first ever annual UBOMI Medical and Surgical Outreach, organized by the Pieces Foundation. Since then, over 13,000 medical interventions have taken place at no cost at all to the beneficiaries, including, the 500 eye, dental, and general surgeries. It's always a delight to see people go through surgery, recuperate easily, and move on with their lives. And I'm excited to announce that the 4th edition of UBOMI, our annual medical and surgical outreach, is here again. This year we plan to attend to 5,000 people. 5,000, and I mean it well, moving towards the actualization of this, and once again, want to restore life to them and, support this economically challenged and less privileged people around us. We all feel the effect of the hardship experienced by many in our country today. So this year, more than ever before, there's a greater need to provide medical care for the growing number of underserved people in our communities. Last year, over 2,500 beneficiaries were impacted. This year, we want to meet the needs of double that number, and we cannot do it alone. Each general surgery costs hundreds of thousands of naira. This year, we plan to do 120 surgeries. Medications are one of the highest costs we spend within our budget every year. Millions of naira, which translates into hundreds of thousands of dollars, spent every year over the thousands of patients that will go into surgery and will have to go into post-operative care and will need drugs to recuperate very fast. We're grateful for the impact we have made in our communities over the years, none of which will be possible without the support of you, our donors and partners. We invite you.
The last 5 years, we've been able to impact our community and our society, both within and outside of the city of Lagos and around the nation, with over 142 meals provided through our food bank initiative. 142,000 meals served through our food bank initiative. During the COVID pandemic era, 3 years ago, we had to swing in our approach, which is a way to just be agile to meet the need of the moment. We couldn't, do all the things that we normally would do, like the medical outreaches and different things because of COVID. So we decided to focus more on making food available to people who cannot afford it. So many things that have happened in the last 5 years. Over the last 5 years also, we've had over 13,000 interventions through the UBOMI Medical and Surgical Outreach, which we're continuing this year. We've had health promotional seminars and exercises that have been able to reach over 6,000 people. Over 1,400 dental procedures have been done in the last 5 years. We also do Christmas grotto for street kids during Christmas, and we've been able to reach 1,250 less privileged kids through Christmas grotto experience. Also, 966 people have benefited from our eyeglasses, free eyeglasses distribution for people who need eyeglasses to be able to see better. I can go on and on with the different things that the foundation has done. 220 street kids have also participated in our Wings Academy, skill acquisition and for children, which centers around IT skills, coding, robotics, and all that. I don't want to bore you with many of the things that we have done. Today is about the UBOMI outreach, medical and surgical outreach. This year was set to raise the bar by attempting to reach a minimum of 5,000 people in the 1 week medical and surgical outreach, which will commence from next Monday. Our partner from inception of the medical outreach, which is Prohealth International, ably represented on this panel today, have worked with us in the last 3 years to be able to bring up the UBOMI medical and surgical outreach every year. By the way, UBOMI means life in the South African language, and we chose to adopt that word for the medical outreach because we believe that the critical part of our work is to be able to give life to people. And when we talk about that, we're not only talking about eternal life, we're also talking about the life that gives people the right to choose how they will spend eternity and how to contribute vitally to their nation, to their community, and live a life of impact. It's only a healthy person that can make impact. We want to contribute our part at making people in our nation healthier so that they can be better citizens that will contribute to the growth and development of our nation. And at this very critical juncture in our nationhood, where things are not particularly rosy, we need more people who will be healthy. We need to turn around the fortune of our nation. We need to turn around the economy. We need to turn around the growth of our GDP and all that. And it's when we have a workforce that is agile, that is healthy, and that can make meaningful contribution that this will happen. The statistics are out there of how many people have access to primary health care and tertiary health care. I don't want to dwell on that, but because we know the number of the multidimensionally poor people that we have in Nigeria, where the Bureau of Statistics, I think, put it maybe at about 120 to 140 million Nigerians now who are under the bracket of multidimensional poverty. And when you look at multidimensional poverty, a great effect of it is lack of access to medical care. It's not just that people don't have enough to eat, but they are not able to take care of themselves. As a non-governmental organization and as a social intervention vehicle, we at the Pieces Foundation, of which I have the privilege of chairing the Board of Trustees, we are out to change the narrative so that as our nation navigate the bends to make people, to turn around our fortune in terms of multidimensional poverty, we want to play a part at increasing the number of healthy people that will participate in that process, so that in the next 5 to 10 years, the story of our nation would have radically changed. Again, I want to thank you for coming to be a part of this, this press conference. We hope you'll be able to scope enough information from all of us on the high table to be able to understand what we're doing and also to be able to publicize that appropriately so that the right people who should benefit from what we're doing will get the information, and then the right people who should also partner with us to be able to do more will get the information, and together we can all partner together to build a better community, a better nation that we'll all be proud of. Thank you for coming, and God bless you.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Mr. Godman Akinlabi, founder of the Pistis Foundation. And it's also key what he mentioned, that only an elder person can contribute to nation development and can make impact as well. We will take complimentary remarks from the high table, and we'll start with Mr. Leonard Thomas, the Executive Director. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the press. You're very much welcome. Very quickly, just to ride on what the founder and visionary of Pistis Empowerment Foundation spoke about, I will touch on a few things regarding UBOMI, but first of all, I just want to talk about where we started, because we started 5 years ago, like he mentioned. And, one of the things that I'm sure you'll agree with is that the hallmark of good leadership is vision. When we started Pistis Foundation in 2018, October, we had a vision to reach the economically challenged and not just the less privileged. For UBOMI, for example, we started with the vision to touch 20,000 lives, or just conduct about 20,000 interventions within a space of 5 years. As we speak, within a space of 4 years, we've been able to conduct a little over 13,000 interventions. And, speaking more deeply regarding UBOMI, the interventions that we have been able to successfully conduct range from, eye care to eye surgeries, dental care to dental surgeries, to fibroid surgeries, lump removals, different types of, ailments, but primarily around primary and secondary health care. When, of course, we do this in partnership with Prohealth International and a number of other partners who have been very supportive with what we do at Pistis Foundation. One of the things that we also try to do during the outreach is to garner doctors and medical practitioners from across the country and sometimes from outside the country. I'm sure we are all aware of the current state of the healthcare space in the country. A lot of medical practitioners have left the country, seeking, of course, a better future for themselves. And this is with all due respect to every one of them. However, we recognize the fact that even when they are absent, the needs of people when it comes to their healthcare are growing. Regarding UBOMI this year, for example, we already have a number of people that have called our lines and seeking healthcare, pre-screening, asking questions about how the outreach will run, and we're prepared for them. Additionally, I mentioned the aspect of the medical practitioners are coming from across the country. In addition to them, we also have volunteers who serve during that 1 week period. As much as 250 to 300 people serve during the period, all for free. They don't charge anything, and they contribute their time, their talents, and their treasures to, serve the underserved in our communities, and of course, the general society. So we're looking forward to hosting UBOMI this year, from the 23rd to the 27th of this month, which of course is next week, Monday. And a number of people will be joining us, or partners will be joining us during the outreach. I also wanted to touch quickly on a number of other areas that we are focused on. Education, for example. We've been able to touch the lives of a little over 130 children, where we sponsor them from primary to secondary and university education. Currently, we have children across 5 states in the country, within the Southwest predominantly, as well as the South-South. And we're expanding our impact footprint as we continue to grow in that space. Apart from education, Mr. Godman Akinlabi spoke about some of the impact we have also conducted, moving street kids from, off the streets, providing meals for them, and not just moving them away from the street, but also empowering them. We have a homeless shelter for children that, caters to a number of children, nurtures them, clothes them, feed them, and of course, we teach them things that can empower them in terms of their skills, because we recognize that is the future. As we grow, of course, we plan to increase the numbers and, do more in that area. We're, however, mindful that, when it comes to the issues that, we're dealing with as a nation, there's the need to be strategic in our approach. This is one area that we have focused on in addressing, especially in the Lekki axis of Lagos, because the numbers of street children are growing. Last but not the least is the area of empowerment. We have a few women that we have been able to empower. I'm sure you will agree with me that when it comes to empowerment, mothers play a pivotal role. I believe very strongly that when people are empowered or when skills are sharpened, we increase in value. And women play a pivotal role in the society. I think the United Nations has, spoken to that heavily. So we're empowering more women. In fact, a few women have just recently graduated under our skill acquisition program, known as Mothers to Mothers, from the International Women's Society. Quite a number of them, all of the women that we train there are mothers of these street children who we believe need to also be empowered, because the children, even though they're in the shelter, need to be reintegrated back into society after a certain period. So it's just wisdom to ensure that their mothers are well empowered for that reintegration to take place. So on that note, I will say thank you. and welcome everyone again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Leonard Thomas. And to take off from where he left, in the spirit of equity, we've already had two men speak. I'll take the remark of Yangosa, and then from Mr. Debo Omotunde as well. So we'll take our remark in just 6 minutes, please. Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the press, and thank you very much, sir. We appreciate our visionary and founder and the drive and push of our executive director. I just want to reiterate that we wouldn't have made this much progress without the support of the general public, the environment to thrive in spite of the odds that is being provided to us by the Nigerian government, and all of our partners beyond that keep engaging with us to be able to achieve the vision that we have been able to drive at Pistis Foundation. The goal is impact, and like every vision with a goal, there is an end date in mind. We intend to continue moving on until we see that the healthcare of the country is stabilized, until we see that the children are off the streets, and not just across the nation, Nigeria, but we intend to expand and be able to make sure that we tackle homelessness for children and even adults in the near future. Our UBOMI outreach that is starting on Monday, like has already been hinted on, we want to invite, for as many persons that have cases that need attention. We already have people calling in, but it would be important if you know someone, word of mouth works. If you know someone that has a need that can be treated, you can refer them to come, and our doctors will be available. Like our founder said, the goal is to reach 5,000 persons for this week's UBOMI. So let's make sure that we spread the word out and we have people coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll take Mr. Debo now.
All right, once again, I want to welcome ladies and gentlemen of the press. A lot has been said, but I'm sure we're all aware that a lot will go into medical intervention for 5,000 people within the space of 1 week. A typical UBOMI project is very, very demanding in terms of resources and in terms of the kind of support that is required. So as we set out this week, it's useful to acknowledge the people that continue to partner with us to make this happen. To conduct a medical intervention for 5,000 people would require a whole lot of pharmaceutical products, a whole lot of personnel available, and tools available for them to use, space available for them to conduct the tests and the surgeries, a whole lot of logistics in terms of provision of meals, accommodation, transportation, and all whatnot. And this is going to happen over a period of 5 days. One of the things that we have enjoyed is great partnership with organizations and individuals who believe in the UBOMI project, believe in what Pistis Foundation stands for, and continue to provide us with unwavering support. Some of the brands are displayed in the banner that we have as a backdrop. The Elevation Church has also been a principal partner of Pistis Foundation in terms of all sorts of support to ensure that this project is sustainable. Over the course of the past 2 weeks, we've been on a blood donation drive in partnership with the Lagos State Blood Transfusion Service to conduct the number of surgeries that we've set as a goal for this year. Certainly we require a lot of blood to be available in order to ensure that the beneficiaries don't have to pay for the service. And so we've had scores of members of the Elevation Church willingly donate blood to in support of this project. And I'm so proud to be associated with the Elevation Church. We have members who are very committed to this process and have demonstrated that with their consistent support. We are very delighted that we continue to enjoy such support, and this is an opportunity to reach out to well-meaning institutions, organizations, individuals that believe in this kind of project to seek opportunity for partnership with Pistis Foundation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Dewa is speaking to the partners of the UBOMI. On that regard, I would like to take the remark of Dr. Femi Owagbemi of the Prohealth International. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I'm here representing Prohealth International, one of the technical partners for this upcoming project, and we've been doing that for the last few projects as well. So Prohealth International is an organization that over the years, decades actually, has sought to provide through voluntary efforts, qualitative and quantitative health care and hope to the poor and less privileged people, particularly in rural areas of Africa. We've done this for about 30 years, and it's our pleasure and awesome privilege to be able to do this as we have done in the last few years with Pistis Foundation, and again next week, God helping us. And so what we do is we provide the healthcare part of the outreaches, particularly UBOMI, in terms of general consultations with medical doctors, surgeries of various types, some of which have been mentioned, but generally speaking, general surgeries, obstetrics and gynecology, eye surgeries, and also dental procedures, eyeglasses, after tests have been done to determine if there are refractive errors and so on. We also do health promotion, try to teach people how to take care of themselves, how to promote their health. And this often focuses on mothers and their children as well, trying to attend to malnutrition in children. We do laboratory tests and so on. So it's almost like bringing a whole hospital to the community, You would be able to find most of the basic things that you would find in a hospital for general care at the mission site. And that's really what we do, and that's what we will be doing next week, with the goal of reaching as many as 5,000 people. So that's really what is going to happen next week, and we look forward to the time that we'll spend taking care of the people that will come for healthcare, and we look forward to good outcomes for them. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Before I take the last remark, I would just like to enjoin the gentlemen of the press to have our questions ready. I will take our questions over the next 15 to 20 minutes before we wrap up things. Thank you. Ms. Louise Isemedi, thank you.
Good afternoon, members of the press. Thank you for being here today. Thank you as well. This is just another opportunity to thank our board chair who is here and our leadership who have really been instrumental to ensure that the things that we set out to achieve 5 years ago, we're right on track to get those things done. We've talked a lot about the goals and the vision we had for health, for education, and for shelter. We've been able to achieve quite a lot in all these three areas. We spent a lot of time talking about health and UBOMI. We've also spoken a little bit about what we've done in education. We currently have about 133 children who have benefited from our scholarship programs in one way or the other. We've grown over the years, and we've been able to do this as a result of our partner organizations, including partner schools, various schools who have supported us to do this as well. We also have been privileged to have a shelter and to be able to take a few children off the streets and to be able to rehabilitate them. Some of them have now graduated from primary school and are in secondary school. These are all things that we're grateful for to have been able to do over these 5 years. We're looking forward to being able to do more. And we have a little video just to give you an overview of some of the things that we've achieved over the last 5 years before we go ahead to take your questions. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Is the video ready now? Okay, let's have it. Thank you very much. Yes, let's appreciate that. That was very impactful. Thank you very much. So we'll take questions from the press now. As you ask your question, kindly state your name and the media agency you represent for the record, and ask your questions. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Olusegun Rafi. I work with the Nation newspaper. But let me first and foremost commend the foundation for a good work, because I've checked on and I see what you have done, and then with that record, it's very, very commendable, sir. But for my first question is this. When you talk about the education, you say we have about 130 students. They still comprise of from the secondary school to the tertiary institution. Or the number is for just for the primary sector. That's number one. Number two, sir, for those that undergo surgery, do you have a team that follow them up to know how far they were doing after the surgery? That's my question, sir.
Thank you. We'll take one more question, and then the ITHIB will address it. Thank you.
Right, thank you very much. My name is Henry Uche. I write for the Sun newspaper. I want to confirm, your next outreach, is it targeted at 5,000 people for medical services? If I had clearly 5,000 persons to be served that day. Secondly, I want to know what has been your sustainability strategy since 5 years and your plan to sustain this tempo going forward. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. So I'll answer the first question about education. I'll hand over to our technical partners to answer the question about following up with the medical concerns and sustainability. Our executive director will respond to that. I can also confirm that, yes, 5,000 is for the medical intervention that starts in next week from Monday till Friday of next week. Yes, we have 133 children who have been through our scholarship program in one way or the other. So that's primary, secondary, and tertiary. Some of them have included one-off beneficiaries who have benefited grants, who have been given grants. Some of them are within the system. We have about 113 who are within the system from primary all the way to secondary, and the others have been one-off beneficiaries. So I hope that clarifies everything. Thank you. So, Dr. Wagbemi.
Thank you for the question. Yes, post-surgical care is a very important part of surgical care as a whole. So we usually work with people in the local hospital that we use. Some of the patients get, for example, a patient that gets an operation on Monday, we follow the patient up right until we leave throughout the duration of the program. And then we hand over to the local team. So usually we focus on surgeries that can be performed in that setting and can also be followed up in that setting. That way we know that the quality of care they're receiving from us will also continue even after we've left and the patients. And then we also follow up, by ourselves with phone calls and also communicate even after the mission with the team on ground. So that way we know what's going on with the patients that we have operated on, and we know they're well until they fully recover from the surgeries.
Thank you. This.
All right, thank you. Just to add a few things to what my colleague, Ms. Lois, shared earlier regarding our scholarship program. So, the question on the scholarship level, just for clarity, these children, once they come into our system, are actually enabled with a scholarship program that they can access from primary all through university. So, we're also very deliberate about how, we recruit these children. They have to be either out-of-school children or children from underserved backgrounds. So we, in fact, go the whole log to conduct what you call due diligence. Sometimes we visit their homes to be sure that they are from poor backgrounds. But they also go through, what you call a scholarship assessment program that, gives them access to the scholarship. So we're looking for children who are underserved, but also, in a sense, bright, right? Because we have partners and donors who support our causes. Not just that, when we started about 15 children, but right now we have, like Lois said, 113 children in the system. We've done more than that, and we're planning to, scale the numbers as we grow. Additionally, these children are all in private schools, right? Because we're mindful of the need to give quality education, and not just any education, right? We partner with a number of schools. As we speak, we have about, 29 schools, or a little over 30 across, the South-South as well as the Southwest, right, where these children are currently enjoying free education. Apart from that, Dr. Wagbemi spoke to, UBOMI, and just to add to the post-op care aspect, when we do the project, we're mindful that sometimes people who go through surgery really need, what you call post-operation care. So we not only let them know that after the surgery, you can come back to the hospital to continue to receive medical care. So sometimes, even after we have finished the project, 3 weeks after, 1 month after, 6 weeks after, we are still monitoring the patients. We have some of the pictures or the videos that you saw earlier. We have, relationship with some of them. We keep in touch with them. We, in fact, try as much as we can, to not just stop at medical care, especially if they, situations where they require empowerment, but we build that relationship, and empower them to just move them from that state of, helplessness to a state where they can also vitally provide for themselves. So even 3 years down the line, we're still in touch with some of those who actually access, UBOMI Medical Outreach. I hope that helps to, clarify the questions that were asked.
Yes, thank you. I think there's one more question about sustainability.
Yes, sustainability. Yes, so from the very beginning, one of the things that we put together as our, 5-year strategy was to put together an endowment, fund. Of course, the Elevation Church, is our principal partner, and, like our visionary and founder said earlier, we're a faith-based institution. We're mindful of the fact that the needs are humongous, and it's important to be very strategic in our approach. But apart from, setting together an endowment fund, we try as much as we can to put, a structure in place for reporting to all our partners and our donors. Perhaps you have even been to our website. You probably would have been able to access some of our impact reports or our annual reports, for the past 2 or 3 years. They are downloadable. You can access them. You can see what, funds are being done with. But again, in terms of sustainability, we're mindful of the fact that, we're an NGO, and it's important to have structures in place, that enables this sustainability. And one of them that I spoke about is, the endowment setup. Of course, prudence in terms of resource management is critical, as well as, ensuring that we have more donors and those who support us, even internationally. Thank you. I hope that responds to your question.
Yes, thank you.
If I may just add something to the talk around sustainability. If you look at the screen behind us, one of the things you quickly notice is the diversity of sponsorship that the foundation enjoys. Though the principal partner is the Elevation Church, but I'm sure if you take the Elevation Church off from that screen, it will not really look like anything is missing. With an array of partners that you have on the screen there, you know that the initiatives will still be able to go on. So one of our major sustainability plan is to keep increasing the number of partners, individual and especially organizations. And we are grateful to all these partners in the different areas where we play, education, health, and shelter. We have partnership across all the different areas. Like Mr. Thomas said, a number of schools who, for instance, we have our kids in those schools, but the first thing we enjoy with them is to say, maybe we'll take 30% off for you or 50% off for you. So we're left with a burden of just looking for either 70% of the school fees or 50%, because they know that we're doing this just to support these families. And this puts us on a more sustainable pathway. We have the adopt a kid, PF scholar, system also, where people both from within and outside of the country, Nigerians in diaspora, who are looking for kids to send to school in Nigeria can work with us, and we are able to say, look, this is the profile of a child in Warri Delta State, or in Item in Abia State, or in Ilaro in Ogun State, where we already have some structures in place for people, for scouts, who scouts for less privileged kids for us, and they're able to write a pre-qualification test and all that. And when all that is done, then we're able to profile these people to, these kids to sponsors, well-meaning Nigerians and other people from around the world who are able to adopt them. We have a model where what it takes to send a child to a modest private school in Nigeria has already been outlined. So it's a specific amount that anyone can actually pay, and you know that this is the child that you are sending to school. I also have the privilege as a founder to be able to plug into that system. So personally, I have 5 kids that I personally am sponsoring their education, but not directly. I sponsor them through the Pieces Foundation, the PF Scholar system, and that's what we're asking for the average Nigerian to be able to, or not the average Nigerian, the well-meaning Nigerians who are able to do that, to be able to join us to do. Our plan is to have individuals also who will be able to scale. I'm looking for when I'll be able to do 10, 20, and do a lot more through the foundation. So with that, we can easily scale the things that we're doing. And I'm just using that as an example. The different areas we have sustainability plans and the ways by which we can scale every year as we get more people into partnership. So partnership is a major way by which we have built sustainability into what we do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, we will take the next couple of questions as well.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank the organizers and founders of this event for this great feat so far over the past 5 years. My name is Udo Ito. I'm from Today's Echo. I have a question. Considering the deplorable state of the medical sector in the country, how does the foundation successfully beat this barrier to successfully execute its mission in providing sustainable health solutions to the underprivileged? That's my question.
Okay, thank you. I think someone else wants to.
Should I take that again?
Did we get that, please?
Yeah.
Yes, I want to take one more.
Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Kolaole Aliu. I'm from a leadership newspaper. So I want to know the medical care lineup, the programs, medical care. I want to know the lineup of it. So the second one is, what are the criteria for the, be it education or health? What are the criteria? Because I reside in Aton, and I also want the foundation to extend the good hands to that axis too. So I don't know Aton axis, Ogun State. So I don't know. I don't know what.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. My colleagues will give answers to some of your questions, but just by the way, Aton is not as far as you think. It's just Ogun State. And some of our initiatives are already spanning the southwest and south-south already of Nigeria. And we are looking at going to the southeast and then making an inroad into the north, especially starting through the FCT, and we can get into the closer states around the FCT like Nasarawa and Niger State and all, and with that we can make an incursion into the northern Nigeria. But currently we're strong, I would say, in the southern Nigeria, especially southwest and south-south, and we're also gradually moving into the southeast. We have kids on a scholarship program from Ogun State already, so Aton is not far at all. The only thing that we haven't cracked as in outside of the state is when we run our food bank initiatives. We run it, I think, about 20 local governments in Lagos State with data, because we open for people to call and we get their data, and especially during the lockdown, the food is delivered to them at their location. So we covered all the local governments in Lagos State for that. But outside of that, every other thing that we do, we're extending out of state, and it will definitely reach the good people of Aton. I just want to quickly answer the first question about how we cross the hurdles of the deplorable state of medical care in our nation currently. And in a nutshell, how we conceive the UBOMI Medical Outreach, and with our partnership with Prohealth International, we're able to leverage some things that may not be readily available, and I'll give an example. One is that through our partnership with Prohealth International, and we are able to access some of the best hands that are still available from within and outside of the country in terms of medical personnel. The doctor that you're seeing here is a surgeon. He's not a common practitioner. He's not a startup. Yeah. And for him to be sitting with us here, you know that he believes in the partnership that we have. Through Prohealth International, we're able to, let me give you an example. Was it 2 years ago or so, or 3 years ago, we were having, the UBOMI was going on, and I visited the site. And then I met a doctor from St. Nicholas, who was the chief surgeon, yeah, of St. Nicholas Hospital. All of you will know St. Nicholas Hospital on Lagos Island. If the chief surgeon of St. Nicholas Hospital, I didn't know him from anywhere. It's through the influence of people like him that people like that get to volunteer, because they have groups, they have networks where they put all these things, and some of them, even from outside of Nigeria, who are Nigerians or Africans, who last year we had some doctors from the United States and Canada who flew in to be a part of this, and these are experts. And for some of them, all we had to take care of is their transportation. They don't charge us for anything. Yeah. Some of them are even able to pay their ticket to come. Some will buy their ticket, and that's all. And they are here for 5 to 6 days, conducting multiple surgeries from morning till night. So if you go to the average hospital, you may not be able to get the kind of quality of expertise that we assemble within the 1 week. And then we also partner with a hospital with good facility. We've done that over the years. This year, we're partnering with HTS Clinic, which is at the second intersection there at Marwa bus stop. The whole facility is yielded to us for the entire period. Or there's the surgical ward, the theater, everywhere, and we've had that in different parts of the city, where last year we had the Mother and Child Hospital in partnership with Lagos State at the Bejuleki, yeah, where Ibrahim Adesoya, which is one of the newest facilities of Lagos State as well. So when we have access to that, we add some things to it through Prohealth. They bring some more things to add to what is already on ground, and we standardize what we have. Part of our sustainability plan and expansion plan is to be able to build the UBOMI Medical Center, where we won't need to be disturbing owners of hospitals again, and then we have the medical center that we can access at any time, that belongs to us, fully equipped. And a lot of work is going on that already. We already have the architectural plans and all that finished. We're talking to General Electric, different partners who will be able to support us with equipment at good rate, and we'll be able to set that up in a number of, in a year or two from now. And with that, we'll put that on the sustainability pathway, and UBOMI will then be able to hold more than once a year, because we have our own facility. So those are some of the plans that we have. And with that, we'll be able to, just scale through that order from time to time, because we're not limited only by what is going on in Nigeria. We're spreading our net to get partnership and help from, across, even from outside of the nation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry, Admiral, please. Where are you focusing now, this for next week, sir? And which facility are you using, please?
Oh, that's what I just mentioned. For next week, there are two things we're discussing here. We're commemorating the 5-year anniversary of Pieces Foundation. And we're using the opportunity to create awareness for the next UBOMI Medical and Surgical Outreach, which will start on Monday. For this Monday, we're using the HTS clinic, which is what I said is at the second intersection on Lekki Expressway here at Marwa bus stop. The truth is that if you have time and you show up next week, you'll be shocked. Opposite the hospital, we have a campus of the Elevation Church, which is also a big campus of the Elevation Church. The next church, we have currently the Elevation Church has about 9 centers in Lagos, and from time to time we leverage those different centers to be able to absorb the crowd in before they go to the hospital. So they will open what medical people call the triage, the triage center there, where you just have the crowd and they start to triage and pre-qualify them for the different interventions. So that's what happens. By the time you get there on Monday, you see crowd from everywhere. People come from everywhere. People are traveling in from outside of Lagos. And they're already calling, to be able to be a part of it. Okay, so this is not for lucky people, or for people of the island only.
Okay. Yes, let's have you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Well, we can take your question and add it. I've only attempted to answer one of the questions, so we still have like 2 or 3 questions that will be answered. But you can go ahead.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Ayodele Adenira. I work with Guardian Newspaper. Please, I want to know your challenges for these 5 years. That's what I know. These challenges of the foundation for this 5 years.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Okay, before, you want to ask a question? Okay.
Good afternoon. I'm Suleiman from New Telegraph newspaper. My question, where does the foundation see itself in the next 3 or 5 years? That's my question.
Thank you, sir. I think that will be our last question. Yes, Abdel.
Sir, good afternoon. My name is Shehu Fatai, David's son. Sir, please permit me to ask you this from our pastor. I know if I ask this question, you say it's possible, in spiritual way. Is total eradication of poverty in the country feasible, sir? If yes, what stand is foundation of yours try to achieve to get this vision? Hope you get down. And secondly, will you say the primary goal of the foundation is evangelism? Because somebody that I am a Muslim, and then see the Christian program, I said, no, I won't go there because of differences of their religions. You see, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, can I have a period of just quickly answering the one that's directed to me, and then we can,
All right, that's fine.
Let me start from your second question. The primary focus of the foundation or the outreach is not evangelism. Man is multidimensional in nature. It's firstly a spirit, which is the essence of the spiritual life of a man. But man is also soul and body. If we focus only on the spirit of man, if you see a spirit is not useful to you. You can't even recognize a spirit. The body has to be okay for you to gain the essence of the spirit. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying. So the work of a non-governmental organization is majorly focused on the soul and the physicalness of a man, which is why I said it takes a healthy person to contribute meaningfully to the development of society and the nation. The issue of the spiritual side is what we come back to, and is a matter of choice. Religion is a matter of choice. People make decisions on what religion they want to follow. But when it comes to health, when it comes to education, those are things that all of us must take responsibility for. Then people are able to make informed decisions as to what religious leaning they want to adopt. So at this foundation, we're not focusing on religion. We're focusing on the necessary care that the average Nigerian and African should be able to access. All right? So that on one side. your first question on the poverty eradication, yeah. I'll say that it's a tough question. And I'm saying that because currently there's no nation in the world today where you can say that poverty has been completely eradicated. Yeah. Even the richest nations on earth today, you will still see people. I mean, 2 weeks ago, I was in the United States, and I went to what's the name? George W. Bush Presidential Library in downtown Dallas. And ordinarily, you know, when you visit some of these cities, you don't go downtown, because downtown is usually very, but I had to visit the Presidential Library. I saw too many multidimensionally poor people, homeless people in downtown Dallas. Dallas is a very wealthy city, and the United States is perhaps one of the most endowed countries in the world today. Poor people exist everywhere. It's not the exclusive preserve of third world nations. Poverty is a choice, notwithstanding what your nation has made available. Some people still make bad choices that ends them up in poverty. So can we completely eradicate poverty? I will say, as long as human beings have the power of choice, the answer will be no. Because some people will still choose to do things that will keep them poor, notwithstanding what is available. Can we minimize poverty by putting structures in place so that the people who make the right choices can break the poverty barrier? Then that is yes. I hope you're getting what I'm saying. That is a yes. There's a way both the government and the citizens and the institutions that we're building can come together and put the enabling structures in place, build the necessary institutions, standardize things, make sure that democracy is working, make sure that the institutions from education to health to, everything is standardized and works well, so that anyone that makes a decision to rightly connect with those institutions can break the poverty line. But in a situation where you have people go to school, but unemployment rate is, so high, and inflation is at 27 or 28%, which we're expecting the MBS report this week. It was supposed to come out today. Yeah, Nigeria Bureau of Statistics is supposed to release a report today on current inflation level. Yeah, before now it was 27.2 or so, and they said it may get to 28. Yeah, with 28% inflation in any country, it has reduced the possibility of building wealth, because wealth is eroded consistently. When we solve all these problems, we will reduce the susceptibility to poverty, but we may not be able to completely eradicate it because it's still a subject of choice. I hope I've been able to answer your question. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Okay.
Okay. Regarding, the question that was asked on the medical programs that we hold during UBOMI, right? I had earlier mentioned different types, and I don't know if you saw the video that, was played, but for emphasis, we have different types of medical interventions that will happen around primary and secondary health care, right? If you're familiar with the healthcare space, you know that there are largely three: primary, secondary, and tertiary. Of course, tertiary speaks to issues that have to do with surgeries, like orthopedic surgeries, bone surgeries, spine surgeries. We're not conducting those types of surgeries because you require a longer time for that person to heal, right? We're focused on, ailments like, diabetes. Those are under primary healthcare, issues. Diabetes, malaria. Of course, those are medical interventions. You can, Dr. Wagbemi can speak more to that. But under, the secondary aspects, we are conducting fibroid surgeries, dental surgeries, eye surgeries. Someone called me this morning, for example, who wants to come for the surgery for UBOMI, and she has had cataracts on her both eyes for the last 1 or 2 years. And she said the reason why she had not been able to conduct the surgery was because the doctor told her that it would cost her $1 million for one eye. And during UBOMI, we're going to be doing over 100 cataract surgeries. So you can just do the maths, and that's just one aspect, right? The same thing for dental surgeries. Fibroid surgery, for example, if you go to the average hospital today, even a government hospital, the cost of removing fibroid is about $400,000. And we are planning to conduct over 70 to 80 of those types of surgeries for free, right? I can go on and on. You know, if I will speak, you know, I have a doctor beside me, so sometimes some people call me Dr. Leonard, right? Because I've had to learn a few of their languages. So you have things like myomectomy, you know, thyroidectomy, people who have what you call, a goiter on their neck. Those things are removed during UBOMI. People who have hernia, right? Perhaps you have seen people who are begging on the road and they have very large scrotum. You know, we have doctors who operate on them and, you know, they're corrected. Those, you know, swellings are removed and they have a huge lease of life. I can go on and on to share stories. I will just share one, right? There's a particular lady you probably saw, you know, there in the video that was played. Her name is Tokbe. I can mention her name because she's been part of UBOMI now as a volunteer. She had, you know, fibroid for 4 or 5 years. 5 years. And if you know how, you know, people who have large fibroid issues, you know, live, they are sometimes considered as outcasts, people who are cursed in the society. And she had, you know, subscribed to living alone, right? Because a lot of people felt she was pregnant and she was not able to give birth, right? She heard about UBOMI and she came and, you know, the fibroid was removed. I recall vividly, that was October of 2021. By December 31st, she called me and she said, Mr. Leonard, she was in tears and she said, thank you so much. Thank you to Mr. Godman, thank you to UBOMI. For the first time in 5 years, I can sleep on my bed and turn my body. That brought tears to my eye because a lot of the times we take some of those things for granted, that you can sleep on your bed and turn on your bed comfortably is a gift. I hope you understand, you know, the kind of cases that we're dealing with. So we're expecting those kind of cases during UBOMI, right? Dr. Wagbemi wants to, I'm sure you want to add to what I've said.
Maybe just a little, since Dr. Leonard has already said most of what needs to be said. You know, but what is going to happen and what has been happening in these projects has really been, all of it has been said, you know, but maybe I should just speak a little bit about the process. When people come, you know, there is a triad section where we determine who needs what, and then people are directed to the different areas of need or the different providers of the needs that they have come with. Following this, screenings are done to determine if people are fit for the interventions that we're going to provide, because you need to be sure that people are fit, particularly for surgeries, before you do them. And once people have been determined to be fit for those procedures, then they are scheduled for the procedures. They are prepared, just the same way it is done in any standard hospital setting. And that's why I said earlier on that it's almost like bringing a hospital to the people, rather than people going to the hospital. You know, and then following the preparations, the surgeries are done, and then post-op care is done and all of that. And that's just a simple process. And all the procedures that have been highlighted today are planned procedures for next week. And we are confident, God helping us, that everything will go as planned. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I don't know if there's a question at that. I think there's a
just
question.
One more question. I think.
Yes, somebody asked about the criteria for people that can access, you know,
okay.
the healthcare
okay. I think
opportunities.
you've spoken to that, right? Yes. Largely.
I think that's
the question that speaks to the vision for the future,
yes.
in the next 2 to 5 years.
Yes.
Yes. And I think somebody talked about the challenges in the last 5 years.
Yes.
So let me just speak to the future, right? Earlier I said one of the hallmarks of good leadership is vision. We have Mr. Godman Akinlabi here, who conceived the vision for the Elevation Church as well as the Pistis Foundation, and I've had the very rare privilege of serving under him. Concerning the future, we're a bit ambitious, if you allow me to put it that way. When we started, we wanted to, for example, under education, sponsor 250 children to, school between primary and secondary, and that was in 2018. Today, we've a bit crossed the mark of 130, right? Of course, you are very aware that COVID disrupted the economy and the globe for 2 years. That hugely impacted on our targets, not just under education, but on the other key focus areas. Mr. Godman Akinlabi has spoken to that earlier, right? But for the future, of course, we plan for the next 2 to 5 years to be able to sponsor as much as 500 to 1,000 children with the sustainability plan that we have put in place. Of course, for that to be achieved, we need more people, partners, who will adopt children through our platform. If you go to our website, for example, you can actually, sign up to become an adopter, a PF adopter, right? And you can be certain that you get the report card of your child every term and at the end of each session, right? Just for accountability purposes. Under health, for example, Mr. Akinlabi also spoke to setting up a hospital, right? Long-term plan under health is to have hospitals across the country, right? One of the things that we have been able to achieve under Pistis Foundation is to put structures in place, to envision the future that can help us create a roadmap to the future. So personally, from where I sit in my privileged capacity as executive director, I don't want to sound as if I'm exaggerating, but I can see the next 100 years, right? And that is the honest truth. But under health, for example, I mentioned hospitals across the country, and not just across the countries, as we expand and want to have, hospitals across Africa. There are institutions that have been able to achieve this, like the Catholic Church, right? It's over how many? Over hundreds of years old, and they have hospitals, even in Lagos, all the way from Rome. So this is possible, right? We're starting with one, and as we progress, we will let you know when we get to that place where we want to, achieve that milestone of, launching UBOMI Medical Center. Under the shelter, for example, when we started, we wanted to, set up a shelter that will cater to, 500 children. But the whole idea was not to just take these children out of the streets. The shelter is structured in such a way that children who come in are tutored in 3 areas, or, nurtured in 3 areas. The first one is academics, right? The second one is their talent. So even in the shelter, they're being taught, things like music, learning piano, learning chess, and, ICT, so they have laptops. And these are children who were, on the streets. Some of them actually were staying in places human beings should not actually stay. Not all of them, literally. I can go on and on to share stories, but time will not allow, right? And these children now, after 2 years, because the shelter has been running for 2 years, can actually speak good English, now have gone to school. They can play the piano, can play chess. In fact, we're planning a chess competition for them, in a few weeks to come. But for the future, we plan to scale that number by setting up a skill acquisition center that will take care of street kids. Because it's not easy to nurture children who are, downtrodden, who are considered as neglect in the society and menace to society. I'm sure some of us know what I'm talking about, if not everyone. You see them at the traffic junction, they're knocking on your window, they're trying to clean your windscreen, and, asking for money, right? But what they need really is a home. They need a family, right? And we are mindful of this, and that's why we have put together, that kind of structure. But I hope I spoke a bit regarding the future of the foundation in these three key focused areas. Regarding the challenges that we face as an NGO in Nigeria, number one is funding. I'm sure that you probably know that already. If you are in the NGO space, anyone who is familiar with the NGO space or the social sector, you know that whatever is going on in the economy with people and institutions naturally affects the social sector, right? So, but we have enjoyed the support of passionate individuals, dedicated, partners who give to our causes. Of course, in terms of funding, I believe, and we believe at Pistis Foundation that it can be better, especially the support from government, right? In certain sectors around the world, in certain countries around the world, you see where government, give some form of financial support to the, social sector to further enable what they do, right? We believe that this can really help if, of course, we have structures in place. Apart from, funding, of course, one major area we also have challenges is we have systemic issues, right, as a country. I'm sure you are very aware that, when it comes to the trust issues in our country, there's a huge trust deficit. So you want to collaborate with institutions, you check in to see that you share the same ideology with them, the same values. So that trust deficit can sometimes hinder the possibilities that an NGO can, engender, can attain within the community, right? If, for example, we have more people partner with, the NGO space, more institutions support what the NGOs in the country are doing, the truth about it is that the country will be the better for it, especially NGOs that are accountable, that, are constantly reporting their activities, and there are a few. Right? So this is one major area also that we face challenges. There's a huge trust deficit in the country, systemic to be precise. We hope that that will change in the course of time because we believe in a better Nigeria. Thank you very much. I think I'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Saz, and to the gentlemen of the press that in a very insightful and engaging conversation so far. So take the final remark from Ms. Lois Semede as we wrap up in the next 5 minutes. Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon again, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being present. I think that today has been very insightful. For us as a foundation, we're very excited to be turning 5 or to have just turned 5. And for all that we've been able to accomplish over the past 5 years. I just want to use this opportunity to again thank our founder, our board chair, and our visionary, who really it's because of him that a lot of what we've been able to achieve has happened, because of the vision, because of the direction. We're very grateful to you, sir, as well as the board, the wider board of trustees who support our work, who guide us and make sure that what we're doing is sustainable and is in line with our values. Mr. Adebo is here, Omotunde, as well as the other 4 members who are not here. We're grateful to them. Of course, our executive director who is here, he started off as the first general manager of the foundation and set everything running, put the structures in place that we've been enjoying over the last 5 years. He's now our executive director, and we're grateful for all that he has poured into the foundation over the years. We also have a board of advisors who are constantly guiding us. They're experts in the various areas that we are involved in. We have advisors who guide us in health, in education, in shelter. We're grateful to them. They also are part of the reason why we've been able to come this far and achieve what we've done. Of course, we have our management team. I'm here, Ms. Yango is here, past, present. We have those who have what we'll call sewed into the foundation, who are not here with us anymore, but have had an impact that is still lasting, as well as our staff members who have done the same. We could not be able to achieve a lot of what we've done without our volunteers. So many people who are not paid a dime, but you would, if you come on Monday, you would see a lot of them, from those who are medical volunteers and non-medical volunteers, people who meet every week every month to try to decide how to guide the work that we do here. We're so grateful to them. We've talked a lot about our partners, our financial partners, our technical partners, our partners who are supporting us in one way or the other. Some give financially, some give in kind, our donors. We have a Prohealth representative here, Dr. Wagbemi, and representing our partners in general. You can see the list of all of them. Without them, we wouldn't be here and we wouldn't have been able to do all that we've been able to do. We're super grateful to them, as well as our beneficiaries. We're thankful to God that there are people that we're able to serve, and we're able to see the impact that what we're doing has had in their lives. We're able to have those relationships with them. We're able to see children who came into the system and who have grown through the system, started at primary, graduate to secondary. It's a privilege to be able to be part of that journey. It's a privilege. I know when Mr. Leonard was talking about Tokwa, he didn't talk about the fact that she has had a baby now, which is really exciting to be able to be part of that journey, to see where she started from and where they are. So we're grateful to our beneficiaries as well. We're grateful to you, members of the press, who have also been impactful in helping put out what we're doing. It's so important for us to be able to do more. We've talked about our plans for the next 5 years, 10 years. We can't do it without your support. So to everyone who has in one way or the other made Pistis Foundation where we are today, and who is playing their part in getting us to where we are. Whilst talking about our partners, Zenera Consulting, who is here as well, a partner who have supported us from the beginning and have pushed our narratives out. We're super grateful to everyone, and we just want to use this opportunity to say thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. What a beautiful way to wrap up a very productive meeting. And we can thank the distinguished member of the press enough for making our time to be here today. We recognize the presence of, I believe, this day, Leadership Vanguard, today's Echo, Daily Sun. We thank you all for coming, as well as the distinguished members of the I table, from Mr. Godman Akinlabi, Mr. Debo Omotunde, Mr. Leonard Thomas, and Ms. Yangoso, Luis Isemede, and importantly, Dr. Femi Owagbemi. We thank you all for coming today. On that note, we bring the press conference to a close. So I will invite the members of the I table to the screen to take our media pictures. Thank you once again for coming. Do have for yourselves a wonderful day. Thank you.
In 2019, over 3,000 underserved persons received free health care at the first ever annual UBOMI Medical and Surgical Outreach, organized by the Pistis Foundation. Since then, over 13,000 medical interventions have taken place at no cost at all to the beneficiaries, including, the 500 eye, dental, and general surgeries. It's always a delight to see people go through surgery, recuperate easily, and move on with their lives. And I'm excited to announce that the 4th edition of UBOMI, our annual medical and surgical outreach, is here again. This year, we plan to attend to 5,000 people. 5,000, and I mean it well, moving towards the actualization of this. And once again, we want to restore life to them and, support this economically challenged and less privileged people around us. We all feel the effect of the hardship experienced by many in our country today. So this year, more than ever before, there's a greater need to provide medical care for the growing number of underserved people in our communities. Last year, over 2,500 beneficiaries were impacted. This year, we want to meet the needs of double that number, and we cannot do it alone. Each general surgery costs hundreds of thousands of naira. This year, we plan to do 120 surgeries. Medications are one of the highest costs we spend within our budget every year. Millions of naira, which translate into hundreds of thousands of dollars, spent every year over the thousands of patients that will go into surgery and will have to go into post-operative care and will need drugs to recuperate very fast. We're grateful for the impact we have made in our communities over the years, none of which will be possible without the support of you, our donors and partners. We invite you to join us again this year in serving our community. Your donation can provide blood pressure medication for a man who has not been able to afford his drugs, and also provide surgery opportunity for a woman who has been suffering from fibroids. This is why you should scan the barcode on the screen or visit ubomi.pcesfoundation.org/donate. Thank you and God bless you.